The fate of the Earth really is in our hands, because if we don't solve the climate problem, we won't get a chance to solve all the other problems.
ISIS is a small movement of thugs and criminals, but there are lots of people who support ISIS and who like what it's doing.
This is a global crisis, which Europe is seeing one element.
There's an international diplomatic deadlock, abject humanitarian conditions within Syria, and obviously the ripple effect throughout the region and the world.
I wanted to illustrate the nature of trade by the Apple iPhone.
Russia values Assad greatly because they want access to a warm water naval port in Syria, which will help their presence on the world stage. Then also, in terms of natural gas trade, they want to limit new pipelines going through Syria into Europe.
I don't agree with this being called a European refugee crisis. I think it's a political crisis.
The majority of the deaths inside Syria have been done by the aerial bombardment on Syria by the Assad regime and its allies.
In my city, we have 52,000 refugees right now, a really huge number. And generally, the whole situation, politically and socially, it's not stable.
The biggest change that's been brought about is the revival of French nationalism.
We have 2.2 million people in jails and prisons in the United States. That's an appalling number. It's bigger than Russia. It's bigger than China. It is a human rights issue.
Being on Air Force One was a job. The president would often come back.
Where I think that we really get China reporting wrong is that we talk about China.
I see a huge parallel between the Brexit Leave campaign and the Donald Trump supporters.
It was such a unique view into these people that could eventually become president.
Why is it we tend to say some things about Islam and Muslims and not others?
Populism in the US is significantly different from populism in Europe.
No other administration in human history has lifted 600 million people out of poverty in 30 years. It's the most astonishing achievement.
And the state, obviously, I think, is mismanaging the communication between EU institutions, nation state, and society.
So let me just talk about the top 5 threats as I see them. First of all, nuclear weapons.
Just ask the youth to really just, move on, wear their body armor and just, move on, never give up.
He was on the ground and he said, as I lay there on the ground being beaten, I felt free for the first time.